Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So in yesterday's video, I highlighted some things to watch out for that would be red flags for the bulls, and not one of them took place. So here we are testing all-time highs. Let's look at the charts and I'll talk a little bit about some psychology I got going on. So we can see SPY did not break the low of yesterday, and here we are testing the all-time high. It is a double top at the moment, but the consolidation that took place into the end of the day, there were no red flags. We're looking for an hourly high or low. If we lose the hourly uptrend from here, then that double top will definitely stand out a bit more to us. But at this point, just a healthy hourly uptrend. If we were to lose the hourly uptrend, anything above 462.04 is a daily high or low. That is our benchmark level to keep the bulls in complete control as long as that is holding. So the bias that I have is just recognizing that I've got a gut feeling to be looking bearish. And there's a number of things that come along with that. So first off, I have to be able to recognize it, because if I'm sitting here trading and making trade decisions and I don't recognize that I have a bias, it's going to make me lose money. I'm going to be constantly trying to short in a bullish environment against the trend. So the way I know it's a bias is I'm looking around today and I'm still feeling, a bit bearish, but I have no reason to. I cannot technically put my finger on any reason and say, this is why I'm bearish. It's just, I feel bearish right now. So there are a number of things. I stopped trading in that direction significantly. I just take a step back. And again, as traders, that is the number one skill that we have. Wrong word, not a skill, but the ability to stop trading whenever we want is great. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to utilize that. So for me, I start trading less and saying, okay, I've got a bias that I'm recognizing. It makes no sense as to why I'm looking this way. And I need to just take a step back and be patient and watch things develop a little bit more. And maybe the bulls can make me feel more comfortable with a setup that develops later in the week. Another reason why I may be feeling this way is I had euphoria in the cannabis space. Playing the bounce over the last week, I had a month maker in the cannabis space, and generally I have it built into my brain where if I am feeling euphoria, it instantly is associated with caution. Because if I'm feeling euphoria, I know a temporary top is likely to be set or a rug pull may be coming. It's just this built-in association that I've developed over the years. You feel euphoria, be cautious. So the fact that I felt euphoria in the cannabis space doesn't really have anything to do with the broader market, but it's possible that that association is bleeding through into my analysis of the bigger picture. So I exited my hedge SPXS position when we broke the high of yesterday today. So I'm back to long gold and silver swing positions, long my SPY no touch position from the COVID dump. I've got some longer term swing positions in USMJ, but other than that, I'm going to be patient and trade a bit less and take individual setups that stand out to me. But again, just taking a step back, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's where I'm at, psychologically speaking. And we are watching the bulls keep complete control on the daily uptrend at this point. Bitcoin rolled over. That's also a factor. Bitcoin gave us the daily lower high and confirmed downtrend. And again, that doesn't mean the broader market's going to do it, but that could also be a reason that I'm cautious with where we stand right now. QQQ marching up, lead bull sector today. And just looking up at the all-time high, 401, we're about 1% away from that level. And the hourly uptrend is keeping the bulls strong. And again, didn't break the low of yesterday. At no point today were there any red flags. SPY from the bell, just complete bull control. 15-minute high or low, new high of the day. So that's a good thing. I didn't get faked out. I didn't go aggressive bear and then get stopped out. But paying attention to our internal thought processes is extremely important. And our emotional aspect as traders, we have to constantly be observing ourselves and take a step back and look at ourselves in the mirror. So IWM, daily high or low set, daily lower high was set yesterday. Bulls defended support today, 236.31, and we're tightening up. Simple statement. If we hold 236.31, the bulls keep complete control. If that level breaks, the daily downtrend is confirmed and the weekly consolidation will be underway. So if anybody's going to break bearish, IWM is looking like it would be one of the first ones to do so. And we know that doesn't have as notable an impact on the broader market as if the tech sector were breaking bear, but it's something to be aware of. XLF, key support, whereas we're just trading sideways here, real tight. And again, it's a weekly bull flag unless 39.69 breaks. And we are currently about 1% plus above that level. Healthcare. Defending support, did not break 131.90, did not confirm the daily downtrend. That has to happen for the bears to prove anything to us. Biotech sector trying to bounce and trying to hold 121's our base of support. We got close to it today, about $1 away from our support, and started a bounce attempt, but we must confirm an hourly trend change tomorrow to see follow through, keeping in mind that we will just be looking for a daily lower high to be the result of this bounce. And if this weekly equilibrium is going to continue to play out, a daily trend change back to the bulls is needed, which means a big enough bounce to create the space for a daily trend change to try and shape up. And if IWM breaks bear, XBI is likely to break bear as well. Semiconductors, similar to SPY, right up at the all-time high. And testing it, we would have to lose the hourly uptrend to pay attention to a double top, but still space for a daily higher low, even if we do reject. Cannabis space. So we're scouting daily higher lows. In the cannabis video yesterday, I talked about looking for hourly oversold conditions to scout a daily higher low. So this morning, hourly RSI hit oversold. We had a 5-minute inverse head and shoulders present itself, and we had a solid bounce. From the low to the high, that's about a 5% bounce. Now it's up to the bulls to break the high of today, tomorrow, to say the daily higher low is set. So 1458 resistance, trying to set the daily higher low. Cron, daily equilibrium, tightening range. We have earnings to be watching for. We got TLRY, daily higher low trying to shape up. ACB looks real good. That's a potential daily bull flag trying to form that higher low. USMJ, much weaker. Canadian MJ with a big win today. So MSOS tried to see the same thing with a daily higher low, tried to shape up an hourly trend change, and failed into the end of the day. We closed near the low. So there's no sign of a daily higher low being set yet. We're watching for it, anything above 28.39. But again, weakness. GTBIF closing weak at the low of the day. No sign of the daily higher low. So have to call it like we see it. And right now it is very clear that Canadian MJ is stronger than USMJ after today's trading session. Much better looking daily candles for bulls than we see in USMJ right now. I made a couple trades today. One of them was a CGC oversold bounce. So waited this morning on weakness, entered on the break of 14 psychological, and I didn't wait for the hourly bounce to play out. I locked in that profit. I got filled at 13.99 and I locked it in at 14.20. So a little 1.5% move and just a little win. Would have been worth it to get back in for the inverse head and shoulders, but at that point in time, I was watching other things. Why did I wait for the break of 14? Again, hourly RSI was getting oversold, 5-minute RSI was crushed. At that point, just break that psychological level to mark that short-term climax. That's my first entry. And so we bounced right from there, so fairly comfortable most of the time. And another trade I took, tried a BKKT oversold bounce. So that was a small win on CGC, maybe a 60% day maker. And this BKKT failed bounce attempt was maybe a 75% day loser. So small red day, but not significant. BKKT, lower high every single day, 11 days in a row, weekly EMA 12 support test. And I haven't attempted a bounce. I attempted one bounce trade here back on November 9th, and I stopped out break even. So again, it's not the kind of setup, you look at this chart and say, why are you trying to play this bullish? Number one, bounces are my edge. Number two, when we find this bottom, we're going to go 20 to 40% very easily. Number three, I'm not losing money in my attempts. So didn't try any bounces here. I tried one bounce here and stopped out essentially break even. Maybe it was a tiny loss, less than a half a day loser. Didn't do any trade attempts here. And then today I said, okay, we're starting to get extreme again. And we flushed down first thing, this big 5-minute candle, and then started to bounce. And we needed that new high of the day. But I just entered a position here, bottom fishing the low, and hoping that we would V-shape to a new high today to help mark a daily reversal candle. Obviously, that did not happen. We had a 15-minute tightening range here that then broke bear, and I stopped out and ate my loss. So that's perfectly fine with me. I would do it again in an instant. And again, it's not like I'm taking this trade every day and counter the trend and losing a bunch of money. It's just one attempt every few days and still keeping an eye on it tomorrow because, again, when this bounce takes place, it will go 20 to 40% very quickly to find that daily lower high. And again, we got down to 1858. So pretty much if we get to 23, if we bounce to here, that's your 20% bounce. Doesn't take much on a very volatile, thin ticker like this. So still keeping an eye on it. Hourly bear flag into the end of the day. So a small win on a bounce and a small loss on a bounce. That's the way she goes. Gold gave us an hourly rising wedge. Why were we looking for a bearish pattern? Well, when you look at the daily time frame, you know daily consolidation is inevitable. We've set a higher low every single day for 9 days in a row. Little bit of upper wicks forming, bull breaks lacking any follow through. So that tells us scout the rising wedge. We have more confidence in this rising wedge because daily consolidation is due. So we rolled over into that pullback. Gold is now looking for a daily higher low. And I am looking to average up on my entry. And I forget where I entered, maybe somewhere back here in GLD. So looking to average up, ideally wanting to see the bulls hold daily EMA 12. So I'm going to be patient because, again, if I don't get an entry and we see continuation, I'm just fine with the position sizes that I have in gold and silver. But I would also allocate a bit more to them if we can see a healthy daily higher low, ideally a bull flag. So I'm going to be patient and I'll keep an eye out for a setup that I like tomorrow for a potential entry. But the dollar is just breaking out extremely strong. So being a bit patient there as well. But look at the historical RSI levels. So daily RSI, 72 is the top, 73 is a top, 71, 73. So all the way back to the initial COVID bull move, we've topped out between 71 and 73 3 or 4 times, and here we are at 72. So we know to be watching for a temporary top. Doesn't mean we have to. All I'm looking for is probabilities. Look at the weekly RSI. When's the last time the weekly RSI broke 70? It has not happened in 6 years. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but again, we just know probability-wise, if we've rejected from 69, 69, and here we are at 70, keeping an eye out for things to cool off a little bit. Natural gas 12-hour falling wedge is a beauty. We bounced right off support. Lori was going over this one in the morning live stream, and she made a really nice trade based off this pattern. And we rejected from resistance today, so continuing to keep an eye on it until we get a clear break one direction or the other. And that's about all we got. Apple bulls showing up today. Daily higher low trying to form. We broke the low of yesterday with absolutely zero follow through. Tightening daily equilibrium. And if this breaks bull, QQQ is going to be at the all-time highs. So this tightening daily pattern is definitely key for me over the next couple of days. We're watching RIVN for a climax top, but I'm not fighting these blue sky bulls. I'm just observing. Because again, this is the same pattern that happens time and time again, where you get an IPO and it runs hard, significant moves, the valuations don't make sense. Everybody's talking about revenue on RIVN, not knowing that revenue and fundamentals mean absolutely nothing in the first couple weeks of trading of an IPO. The game right now for big money is run this as high as possible, enter shorts, and hold them for weeks. Because what we will do is we will climax top, and then we will slowly fade and give a bunch back. And you see this playbook happen time and time and time again. And it's going to be the same with this one. Just a question of where is the top. All right, hope you're well. Don't forget to do good things. I haven't felt like filming anything with my camera at all recently, so I haven't. So we're going to recycle some content for the end of video stuff this week. See you tomorrow.